Hello. 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 Is there any sound now? Can you hear me now? Can I get some feedback? Sweden's getting hot. Yes, now they have sound. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for being patient. Let's consider it virtue training. How are you doing? I hope you've had a nice week. Do you like my new hair? Does it, remind you? Give associations to any kind of historical figure? Yeah, I figured Swedes would like it. Today, we're going to be talking about what's been making me an exceptionally angry foreigner lately. I will consider this therapy, you will consider this divine entertainment, and I'm going to explain how I've been getting plowed from behind, like hard. It's been rough, getting packed up in there. I've made, I've published 3 videos in the past week, and I recorded 3 that I have yet. No, I'm not gonna insert an ad. YouTube is telling me to insert an ad. Now would be a good time to insert ads. How about never? So, yeah, I uploaded a video about how Pornhub manually verified CP onto their site and took 35% of the profits. So now they're being sued by a lot of people whose abuse was monetized. They had moderators approving it based on orders, and they were told to pretty much let through as much content as possible. They had to take a guess at who was being raped and who was underage, and the end result ended up pretty much killing them. They've been rightfully cancelled now for monetizing human trafficking and dropped by Visa, etc. It's a very good video. However, YouTube decided that it's not family friendly because the word trafficking is in the title, trafficking hub, and apparently a manual verifier confirmed that that's considered strong profanity, so it got labeled not family friendly and a bit restricted. Got the yellow, not the green symbol. Yeah. Kind of weird. Really weird, but I mean, I can still kind of orient around that, I guess. I get it. You want to have a clean presentation. No extreme topic in the thumbnail. Gotcha. You know, human logic dictates that trafficking isn't strong profanity, but okay, I can live with that. But then I noticed that my other video, which was about how Swedes are being bullied in the ghettos of Sweden, there is legitimate structural racism taking place here. Okay, so I made a video advocating racial equality, and it was disqualified on 4 different points. I don't know if I remember all of them. One would not wish to remember all of them, so I'm gonna go to my official website, Substack, angryforeigner.substack.com, and read from the latest post. I listed it there. Hate or harassment towards individuals or groups. Literally none of that in the video, but okay. Stronger profanity, like the F word used in thumbnails or titles. No. None of that either. Content promoting or glorifying drug use, such as providing instructions on buying, making, selling, or finding illegal drugs. Yeah, that's a weird one. The only thing I can think of here is that they consider my completely wholesome, legal in Sweden hemp company that sells CBD, link is in the video description, 20% discount on products. Every purchase supports my channel. The only thing I can think of is that when I make a video in Swedish, it is way more sensitive than when I make a video in English. I've been playing around a bit with monetization lately because, as I informed you prior, I want people to use AdBlock and Brave browser instead of Firefox or Chrome when watching my channel. It's a much nicer YouTube experience, and I never made jack shit out of ads anyway. You need to be connected with like a major network for that. So I've been relying more on user action, user donations. But there is a lot of talk about how if you get a video approved, labeled family friendly, then it does better. It's considered safe and let out to the public. You get a green check mark. When it's considered not family friendly, it's basically a form of censorship. Oh, and also they claimed I was showing footage of accidents or dangerous acts in the video. All of this is absurd, meaning they can literally pull anything out of their ass as a reason to kill your voice, your sanity, and your income. And on this basis, the video was age restricted. 18 plus. So I'm not allowed to talk about Swedish people being bullied and experiencing racism in migrant ghettos in Swedish. When I make videos like that in Swedish, weird stuff happens. Very easier to get the non-family friendly label, and you get a lot more of these weird check marks. When I do videos in English, there's nobody accusing me of being a drug trafficker because I have a completely legitimate sponsor. I've noticed a difference here in the patterns over the past month, actually. So sadly, I will be forced to make more videos in English, and yeah, basically just because I feel like they've started using like Swedish people, Swedish moderators to hand review your videos now when you ask YouTube if it's considered safe. And well, that would mean that everything is suddenly hate speech. So yeah, that adds up. Seems to add up. The only video of mine that didn't get arbitrarily punished this week is Twerk for George Floyd. Yeah. I'm assuming that since the video technically shows support for the criminal dope fiend known as George Floyd in the thumbnail and title, YouTube decided it's wholesome enough for children. So, hasn't been a great work week. I mean, I'm trying to work twice as hard as possible nowadays because you kind of have to deal with the limit in outreach and make it worthwhile. I used to upload like one video a month. Now I'm trying to make it 1 or 2 a week. And it's getting there. But it's like working twice as hard and then being punished for no reason. I made 3 videos and YouTube ruined 2/3 of them. Because liberals want to help pedophiles and criminals against criticism. It's a strange world we live in. Oh wait, I'm gonna share the link in the chat so you guys can check it out. There we go. Paste. Your favorite Swedish band that are actually Swedish are ABBA. ABBA? Couldn't have picked something more NPC? Fucking ABBA? I mean, yes, I do think you should take a chance on me, and yes, I want a man of the midnight, but come on! Haven't you ever heard of Shining? Or Baffery? Oh, Baffery's good. Hypocrisy. Notre Dame. Snowy Shaw. Those guys? Never heard of that? Okay. I could, Oh, and Marduk. Yes. Good old-fashioned Marduk. Anyway, I feel like I'm actually kind of content with this whole thing, because it's a struggle, but you kind of learn how to pick up on certain patterns on what works and what doesn't. There's also all kinds of people complaining about the algorithm being weird because it pretty much just recommends repetitive stuff. It's focused on being repetitive now. Channels that upload the exact same video over and over in a row are thriving, but if you want to vary it up a little bit sometimes and not just make every video about, I don't know, a migrant raping someone, then that affects you negatively. They don't like diversity. I don't get why liberals don't like diversity. I don't need diversity because I also noticed another pattern, which is that it's kind of sad how let's see how I'm gonna word this. How open borders don't work. Because with my Discord server, I literally need to have a paywall to be able to interact with the so-called community. Let me explain why a lot of YouTubers don't read their comment sections. When I make videos for Swedish men, I notice a lot of complaining about how I pronounce words. Just kind of weird, since I speak better Swedish than most Swedes. And really just reviewing anything about my appearance. It feels like you're a candidate for top model. You know, I'm too fat, then I'm too skinny, then I'm too fat, then I'm too sexy, then I... No, not that one. Then, you know, complaints about my hair and my clothes and how I look, and it's just, my audience is 95% men. I'm not assuming 50% of them are in the closet. I'm not assuming 50% of them are gender fluid. But every time I make videos for Swedish people, it feels like I'm talking to a bunch of bitter, catty women. Which, if you think about it, is pretty much what every cultural analysis in my video has been leading up to. Over and over again. You have a feminine culture. You act like women. Your women are butchy. Americans are stupid for putting them on a pedestal and just idolizing feminist pussy. I don't get it. And you can suck my taint. Suck my taint. But that's just one part of the audience, and that's what's so fucking weird. That's the comment section. Right? If I don't read the comment section and I just make videos and kind of do my thing, I'm more focused on the love and support I get with, you know, people supporting me on Subscribestar, which it's been needed this week, so do check out the links in the video description. People supporting me and people who are more encouraging and focused on the actual content instead of acting, how am I gonna say this without being cancelled? Like impolite LGBT. That's what I don't get about Swedish men. I've had actual homosexuals in my audience approach me vulgarly and tell me what they want to do with me. There was one guy that just kept commenting, "I want to blow and rim angry foreigner," over and over and over again. I would see him on like every video for a while, and I was like, that's weird. That's weird. I'm not sure if I need to know this, but you know, you can get a good chuckle. So I find that the difference between gay people and Swedish men is that gay people are more polite. You know, they're more reasonable. They kind of, you know, they're not gonna go and spill their preferences in men, like, straight up in your face when you're not even, like, in the context of dating. So the whole thing is, like, it's just weird and confusing, and I'm not getting that much out of it. There's too much stupid feedback. Like, people don't... I work hard, but people often don't even comment on the video. In Swedish. In English, it's a different experience. And English consists of America, Germany, Europe, Brazil, Russia. Really a lot of different countries all over the world, and they're all more polite, less catty metrosexuals than Swedish men. I just, it's not a social venue that benefits me, the comment section. And I think that's why any YouTuber just stays away from it. Because it's a weird experience. It's like if you, I mean, we talk all the time about how weird social media is, right? What it's done to dating, like commercialization of intimacy, what it's done to sex with OnlyFans and all that stuff. So why wouldn't it be weird when it decentralizes celebrity? And so the audience is like just one entity. It's like a sea of people. You go in there and you're like, you see some old friends, you see some new faces, and you're like, hey, oh, you like the video? Nice. You want to stick a knife in my what? Sorry? Oh, you like that point I made? Sweet, sweet. You think I'm the ugliest fucking bastard you've ever seen? I'm not trying to bang you, but okay. Oh, hey, Reginald, how are those laxatives treating you? You want to do what to my mother? Can you imagine this experience of waltzing in and just... It's confusing. It's not rewarding. It's strange. In Swedish, more so than English. So I've noticed that the sad thing is that open borders don't work. I need to have a paywall on my Discord for people to act polite and relevant when they talk to me. So, for that reason, I'm gonna stay more focused. And, I do have to say, there really is two sides to the so-called the audience. There is people actually watch you for the right reasons, understand what you do, support it. And then there's people who are just some weird parasitical consumers that treat the whole thing like their opinion could be a salvation for you. It's just, you can tell where one is profitable and rewarding in communication and development, and where the other one is just weird, because I wouldn't assume men are watching videos about politics and immigration because they want to find a guy attractive. They want Ryan Gosling to read them news about Swedish politics. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't want to bang me, but that's fine. I'm not trying to bang any of you people. I'm very happy with the whole banging aspect of my life. Very engaged, so cheers to that. Anyway, the reason I wanted to tell you this is because I like what I got going here, and I like my audience, the serious parts of it. Sadly, it's just a minority, but it's still why I make videos. I make videos for the people who genuinely enjoy it for the right reasons and give back in various ways. You don't have to donate. It's more like, if you don't got something nice to say, what the fuck are you doing here? It's more like, yeah, when I tell people to help me out and share a video, Swedish men tell me that they don't want to make their feminist girlfriend angry. Like, that's not someone I want to hang out with. Let's just put it like that. That's not someone I want to talk to. Let's just put it like that. I'm describing the problem in my videos, and it shows up in my fucking comments and thinks that it's a supporter and a fan. Fuck you. Eat my taint. That is not my idea of decency. Anyway, I need more. I hope you understand when I'm just kidding and gently roasting my dear horsens. I like my audience and I like making videos for them, and I want to be able to keep doing it, so I figured I should inform the wholesome part of it about the other part that kind of stands in the risk of ruining it for everyone else, because I don't want to experience that. So if you see any of those comments, just gangbang the person for their stupidity. Really? That's all I could say. My daughter thinks you're cute. I told her you're gay. She said, of course. Seems all the cutest guys are gay now. Did you fucking hear this comment? That's a funny one. Thank you for the donation, Svenne Snackar. very generous to give me a $10 bill. Your comment reads, have you heard of altcensor.com? Many of videos that were on YouTube that have been censored by offended PC elite are there, such as my favorite debate between you and Christopher Dolny, the Swedish alt-right guy. I know of that site. I've talked to that guy. He does a good job, but it's more like a backup thing. There's really not like an audience there. Try being Jewish and giving your opinion, someone else said. Well, I am Jewish. I am 4% Jewish, 8% Arab, and the rest is Eastern European. You guys remember that DNA test I took, don't ya? Being Jewish sadly doesn't help, because the left doesn't like Jewish people. I feel like that's been revealed and proven time and time again. For example, recently in Sweden, a top social democrat was found out to be a leading figure for the terror organization Hamas. So all he did was resign, this terrorist leader, who was high up in the party, and oops! It happens! Yeah, by the way, just to make this worth your while, here's a good advice in life. Make sure you have a Gatorade or something like that when you're drinking beer, because it really changes the whole experience. Suck my taint. I've been addicted to saying suck my taint lately. Since you're my therapist now, I'm just gonna say that out loud. I like it. It works in any situation. Just whispering it with fierce intensity. I find that it gives me pleasure in life. Makes things feel worth my while. What are your thoughts on IDUB's recent apology video? Yeah, I almost thought about making a roast of that guy, but then I was like, there is too much to bring up. How are you even supposed to? Like, what, he sucks a taint? What did you say? Speaking of taints, yes, I would diagnose that man as a taint. So he sits there, looking like a Vice journalist in his video, talks about how people are complaining about how he changed, how he evolved and grew, when it's like, you just got slimier. You just got in the habit of judging people who used to be like you. That's not charming. That's something people are going to be, reacting to. And especially when you date a woman who... How can I describe this in a... I can't? I just can't. Okay. Well, let's just say you can see who wears the pants in the relationship. And she's been making that clear the whole time. She's been, like, guiding him. So, yeah, no wonder. She's also an SJW. She used to bully people and be exactly the kind of person that she warns people against. So he attracted someone that's actually similar to him. It just took a while for people to see it. But, I mean, he was always a slimy nerd, wasn't he? Yeah, pretty much. And then he tried punking Sam Hyde, of all people. The great Sam Hyde, who owned TED Talks. That was wild. Yeah, no, you don't do that to, like, the master shit demon of the West. You don't do that. I mean, I like to be considered a shit demon of the East, Southeast, but I probably don't have that cred. Are you the guy who was texted by the Iraqi minister? Yeah, so that's another story that says a lot about Sweden, kind of confirms a lot of stereotypes. There's this Iraqi defense minister who came here to the country. He's supposedly straight, married with children. But when he's here in Sweden, he gets very active on the app Grindr, which is used by gay people for casual hookups. And this Arab Saddam Hussein-looking middle-aged man does something you would probably see on 4chan a lot, you know, in drawings and memes and pictures. He starts plowing. Starts plowing, sweet little Swedish boy, and he gets creepy. He gets so carried away with it that I think he doesn't take no for an answer with one guy, and then his wife finds out about it, so she confronts him, so he beats her like an Iraqi defense minister obviously would, and yada yada yada, and then I don't think he lives here anymore. Or does he? Either one could be possible. And that's the ridiculous part. Yeah, maybe he does live here still. I don't know. It happened like years ago. Absurd. I'm not gonna show what this is. Anyway. How are you guys doing? What's been on your mind? Leave a comment in the chat. So that's been my week, and a whole lot of Swedish weirdness. One of the videos I'm going to be uploading soon is a thick, big dick 30-minute analysis on why Putin stands to gain a lot from the war in Ukraine, because sanctions really backfired and made Russia stronger. Do check out my channel manually for that. You're not going to see any notification. You're not going to get notified, because I'm getting plowed. Time and time again. Sometimes I don't get plowed for a while, but then it's the big liberal dick shows, the big red devil dick shows up again, and you know, so my newsletter, link in video description, never fails. 100% notification. Never fails. And then I'm gonna talk about, see, I'm gonna be making this video in Swedish, so I figured I'd give you an English recap. I plan on making it in English too at some point, but it needs to be in Swedish first. So there's this politician in Sweden called Fredrik Federley. And he was like a top EU politician, top politician for a center party here in Sweden. Then about almost 3 years ago, it was discovered that he was banging a convicted pedophile who recently got out of prison for 22 counts of severe attacks against children. Very physical stuff. He gets out of prison. He's let out of prison despite the criminal justice system considering him at high risk of relapse. That's exactly what it sounds like. And he moves in with this politician. They live in this quaint little Swedish village, little Swedish town, together. This politician has a daughter, by the way. He shares custody with some woman, I think. He's a parent with a small daughter. Let's just not forget about that. Yeah, so he lives with, the pedophile and the politician live together and have a relationship for months until they're discovered by the press, at which point every single media interview consists of him lying, denying, getting caught, still lying, denying, and the frustration of Swedish media refusing to hold him accountable or ask any questions that contradict his claims. Because Sweden is such a small country, and I've had this explained to me by journalists in Sweden. Sweden is such a small country that it's kind of like, have you seen that CNN clip of the woman, I think her name was Amy something, she was talking about how she wasn't allowed to cover Epstein because CNN didn't want to lose the British royal family as a customer, basically, as a client, as someone who's featured on their show, interviewed, etc., because it generates a lot of attention and income and revenue for these media companies. So sometimes they will let big names off the hook just because they want to be able to invite them back. They don't want to cause bad blood. And for some reason, this country considers itself so small. It's more small in mind than in surface, but sure. It's considered itself so small that journalists don't want to risk offending this pedophile fucker and not have the pleasure of maybe talking to him when he eventually makes a comeback, because people were actually thinking that he's going to make a comeback, and he's tried numerous times. And now recently, just a few days ago, our public service state media, which takes 8 billion crowns of our, that's their taxes state budget every year, they take that much of our taxes, and all they do is spend it on leftist BS, the Melody Festival, androgynous Swedish singing, and stuff like this, defending various left-wing profiles or liberals that get Me Too'd, rightfully cancelled, etc. They did the same thing with a guy called Soran Ishmael and a guy called Fredrik Virtanen, if you want to look it up. They use tax money to make these victim portraits where they don't ask any tough questions. And here's the kicker. This is what's really absurdly funny about the whole thing, in a clown word kind of way, like you either kill yourself or you start laughing. This is what's amazing. This documentary has this victim portrait of this pedophile banger complaining about what a trauma it was to experience this whole media storm with the person he loved so much, the convicted sex offender. And he answers the question, should you be allowed, as a public official, as someone elected based on public trust, as a politician, should you be allowed to date convicted people who have a conviction? Yes, because they're let out of society, and we need to just accept them, pretty much. That's what he said. So he thinks a politician should be allowed to date a convicted pedophile, and complains when people don't have faith in his ability and his judgment when he gets cancelled. It was like surreal reading all the details. And I advise anyone living in Sweden or with access with SVT Play to check it out. It's called Persona non grata, the show. I'm sure Norwegians can check it out too. Now, thanks a lot for the donations, guys. I've gotten 2 thus far. Very kind. One by a dear member. My dear son. I'm a future teacher, grades 7 to 9. Any advice? Oh, yikes. Are you a teacher in Sweden? Or a teacher in general? If you're a teacher in Sweden, I want to tell you to get the fuck out. My God. My dad knew a guy, a Bosnian, who was like very well educated, very talented. Came to the country, just migrated, nothing like refugee stuff, migrated and wanted to be a teacher. Came to Sweden and wanted to be a teacher. He was a very good teacher. But the students would be so racist and such little spoiled white picket fence champagne socialist schneeves that they basically drove the guy insane with stress. I think he ended up slapping one of them, and I was like, oh, you're the one at fault. And basically he was forced to resign in order to not catch a case, and now he's working with something else in Germany. Please consider that. Consider the fact that you might not be allowed to smack a nearly grown little shit stain that's trying to use your trauma against you when you have genocide in your ethnic history. Sweden. University is very woke. Okay. Well. 7 to 9. My advice is... Oh man, I'm stunned. Sorry, I don't like teachers. Never got along with them. And I have a very hard time even imagining how you can get off in that profession. My advice is to try and be politically neutral. There is, like, the whole teacher plan is indoctrinated with postmodern garbage, very woke, very leftist radical nonsense. So, but don't forget your balls. I mean, you can be a good teacher and do some good anyway. I did have good teachers. What made them good is that they cared more about the results than following the bureaucracy of it all. They were trying to, like, make students explain how they think, make them question a little, instead of just blindly going for the loops. And they were reasonable in how they handed out their grades. Also, there's more room than you think to be politically neutral and not have to say leftist garbage and be able to nuance things. And I've heard of very good teachers in Sweden that aren't giving their students an F because they sympathize with the Sweden Democrats, with the right. That's really it. Just let people encourage an arena of free discussion and exploration of ideas and feelings. I think that would make your students more happy. Has CRT started in Swedish schools? I'm sorry, that question is so weird. It literally started here before you. Swedish schools were literally set up in the 60s by a socialist politician who received an award from East Germany's communist dictatorship because he did such a good job spreading the socialist agenda with his how he wanted to structure Swedish schools. And there's been like a lot of exchange of German teachers coming to Sweden and back and forth. The two countries work very close with their collectivism. It started in Swedish schools, I'd say. Everything you're seeing that's wrong with America right now is this disgusting effect of globalization where the West has started listening to Europeans. Europeans are very big government statist and look up tax differences. In any state in America, USA, Canada, compare with any country in Europe. States are pretty much countries. Just make the comparison. See how even leftist states in America don't go so far as any European state. It's insane. And it kind of reflects how much they have government in their culture, too. If you look at how America was founded with individualists trying to get away from European collectivism, the kings, the tyrants, the aristocracy. Europe immediately went from kings and queens and Marquis de Sade, child-banging noble perverts, Epsteins everywhere. Europe went from that to becoming liberal democracies, but really more socialist democracies. Whereas America was trying to have democracy 200 years ago. There's differences, and I think Europeans ruined it. Their leftist liberal horseshit has spread. The internet unites the whole world, and then there's like a contagion of ideas. So the West, America now reminds me more of Sweden than I would ever read about before. We're talking, just a few years ago, people were talking about how, Trump, America, whoa! And now everyone is acting like they invented cancel culture. Cancel culture is just Swedish culture. Get some geopolitical perspective, come on. Okay, now, it's almost 11. Guys, please excuse me, but I have to take a big dump. I had something called Dynamite coffee before. It was very cheap. It was like $30 for a bag. Very affordable. But it does things to my guts that just dismantles and destroys completely, and I have to leave to the can. I'll be back in 5 minutes, I promise. Ugh. Wild coffee. Now, I've been noticing that I've been sitting here for 45 minutes. I got 2 donations in the chat. I think we're gonna be earning more money if I went and did a video instead. I don't know if my sob story had any effect on you guys, but I need the support right now. Check out the links in the video description. Before I go, I'm just gonna talk about the Cleopatra thing, because another video I'm gonna work on is the Hotep movement. Hotep is a bunch of black guys and gals thinking that they originated from Egypt, and therefore Kevin Hart now believes that his ancestors built the pyramids. You have this Netflix documentary, quote unquote, that is so historically inaccurate with a black woman playing Cleopatra that the entire country of Egypt got triggered by how woke America has become and is suing them. And Jada Pinkett Smith, I think she was the one who made it, of course, said that the fact that people hated it and weren't interested and it got low ratings meant white supremacy. Very common when these people, when you go woke and go broke, people blame white supremacy. Because there's still other opportunities to go woke in the future that might be profitable, so maybe that's why. Anyway, I find it insane how far this weird black radical it's kind of an offshoot of modern Marxism and intersectionality and post-colonialism. Leftists are always obsessed with creating tolerance and acceptance by, I don't know, making Batman black, making Spider-Man black, yada yada yada, just changing the skin and gender of anything and thinking that it's gonna change people's attitudes because they like to program people. It's weird, but they like to do that, and it's led to this weird thing where it feels like some people took it so literally that now it's like they're replacing. We're seeing a documentary about Cleopatra replacing the real ethnicity with a black person to make black people feel better. And that pretty much just annihilates the whole leftist narrative of any historical oppression, because you're displaying a position of power that didn't exist at the time for your race, allegedly. Not even allegedly, because slavery was a thing. And you're like washing it out of media depictions? It's weird how you wouldn't want to show white people as oppressors. You don't want to do that anymore. You want to mix everything up so it's so chaotic and distorted and postmodern that it's like, well, where is anyone gonna get the idea that there has been racist oppression throughout history? Because everyone I'm seeing in this movie and this documentary is just a black and a woman and, you know, in a wheelchair and transgender, and it's just weird. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of donations here. That's nice, guys. Thank you. Let's go over the free ones. Katzenflauscher. The cat flesh ripper in German, right? Why don't you try making money on Twitter? That sounds funny. I don't think that's possible. How do you even make money on Twitter? All I've seen is you can pay 100 crowns a month now, $10 a month to have a blue check mark now. And Twitter might be shutting down in all of Europe by August, so I don't know. I'm gonna look into it though. Thanks, because I'm looking into anything. Even job applications to wash old women's asses. I got no shame in my game. I am what I am. But I'm a warrior too. Thank you for the donation, Kin. You just wrote 107794 nhentai.com or what? Hentai? Oh, you expect people to Google that? Okay, I don't think they should. I don't condone that. I don't know what you're gonna link people. I remember the good old internet tradition of goatsy. Guy opens ass to show everyone. And anyone. And meat spin, of course. No, I've been goatsied all last week, and it's a shame how no one gets the reference. Yeah, well, I'd say you should Google that at least. Thank you, Willie. English Willie. I appreciate it. They will make Angry Foreigner black in a Netflix show in 2055. No way, he's Jewish. It can be both. Blackmail people on Twitter. Oh, okay, you think I should make money by doing criminal stuff like blackmailing people on Twitter? Hey, maybe I should just invest in, I don't know, a knife kit and just stop robbing people while I'm at it. Like, hey, you look like you could use some wealth distribution. What's up? What's the time? Get over here. That's how they do it in Sweden. Immigrants walk up to people, gangs of immigrants walk up to people like, hey, you got a lighter? Hey, you know what the time is? I don't know why I made him Latino. There's no Latinos in this country. Anyway, they do that, and then someone gets robbed, or beaten, or stripped naked. Really weird. BME Pain Olympics. I remember watching that in the public library at school, where there was like 20 computers all in public, and I would laugh so loud, and I would try and show it to other people, and they were not interested. I also remember, see, I've been on YouTube since like 2005, 2006. I grew up on that shit, and I remember in the very early stages when the company was just new, there was a lot of Matrix farts compilations, and like videos of guys trying to light farts on fire and succeeding, but sometimes they didn't and shit their pants instead. A lot of that, and even found a video of a guy eating dog shit, then puking, and the fucking title was caps lock, "Guy eats dog turd, then pukes!" Epsilon, epsilon, epsilon. That was weird. Good times. Anyway, I think that was it. Thanks to the people who support me. I will see you soon, and we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna upload a lot ahead, so check out my channel manually, because YouTube doesn't notify people. If you're gonna trust a liberal company to keep you informed, you're just as stupid as it sounds like. Check out my newsletter, and goodbye. Have a nice week.